How to build a bomb.
This is what you get when you launch an actual website. You sit around and drink beer while the servers send nano packets across.
On July 21st, GiantBomb.com opened its doors to the world. In the weeks following the launch, I caught up with the people behind Giant Bomb to find out what this video game website about video games is all about.
Yo dudes, I'm Dave Snyder. I am the designer of Giant Bomb.
I got a chance to ask Dave how this all came about.
I was mostly drinking buddies with Davis and Shoemaker. And then when Gershman left, we basically all got to get together because I kind of knew how to build websites and he knew how to write about video games. So since we're all kind of video game lovers, it was pretty much a perfect match.
A perfect match indeed, but is the world really ready for a giant website about video games? Jeff Gerstmann explains.
I think the time is right for all of this video game information to be collected somewhere. You definitely see a lot of games that are like, oh, they're just taking like this tactic or this concept from this game that's 8-9 years old and updating it for a new generation. Just being able to make those connections and help people kind of see, I guess, a little more of how games are being made and how the concepts really tie together. That's just always seemed really exciting to me.
It's a website
That has games.
Video games?
The man standing next to Dave is Andy McCurdy, another one of the engineers who makes Giant Bomb work. Andy knows all about the problems in launching a giant website about video games.
Well, search is always a hard problem. It's very contextual based on the site that you're working on, and so trying to understand like how users are going to try to find content on the site, and then presenting it to them in some sort of sorted and ordered way, and hope that it's what they want. That's a pretty hard problem.
Meaning like you'd put in like Star Wars or something, and it's more specifically, there's 90 Star Wars games and we've got 10 results. So like, what do we actually show somebody when you put in Star Wars?
Yeah, exactly. Handling all the images that we received was definitely a problem up front as well. Just hundreds of images per game. Kind of difficult to deal with sometimes. So
especially when everybody is just randomly uploading like animated GIFs.
Yeah.
I mean, like, why does my Calvin and Hobbes image like make it up onto the website? It's not animating properly.
Animated Calvin and Hobbes web graphics aside, there must have been some other issues when the launch of Giant Bomb happened in 2008. A very tall engineer, Sean Kuntz, tells us what that was like.
And one thing that I think we were kind of surprised about, that kind of caught us off guard, was just how many submissions and everything we were going to get right off the bat. That was the one thing that we were just like blown away with.
we hadn't pushed the limits of some of our systems, and so I think it was 2 a.m. on the second or third day, we had a load balancer that kept crashing, and I just got pissed off and decided I was going to replace it with some crazy Russian technology that doesn't have any English documentation. So it was, kind of difficult to get going. But
we watched Red October.
Yeah. Sean Connery, I called up Sean Connery and he walked me through some of the docs and it worked out. So
I go into stuff like this knowing that, hey, at some point the site will go down. At some point the site will seem slow. These are just, that's just how it is. It's a process of figuring out, how best to optimize these pages. And it's stuff that as I understand it, you can't really do until they're actually being slammed by users.
We've spent a lot of time developing a platform, and it scales now. After the first week, yeah, it scales, I guess.
Scales for the layman means that it does not run slow.
Yeah.
Well, a Russian-speaking Scotsman and a scalable platform are good for the back end, but Dave Snyder tells us about his vision for Giant Bomb.
My design philosophy is to make things basically as simple and stupid as possible.
Dave elaborates on his stupid design.
You just want, if you want to edit a page, you just edit the page. You shouldn't have to learn a markup or anything like that to make things work. You should just be able to press magic buttons like you do in a video game and it levels you up.
And press magic buttons the users have. With over 22,000 games in the database, over 89,000 people, and over 300,000 images, people are flocking to GiantBomb.com to fill out their favorite pages. But what is some of the staff's favorite content?
Favorite page stuff is mostly when you see a page. Well, the big thing was we went from having screenshots on maybe like 20 different games to having screenshots on every game. So like I can now go into the site and instead of using like Google Images to find a specific screenshot, say for like a design or something I need on the front door, now I'll just type it into the website and it's automatically there, and that's pretty cool. But the actual specific pages, just all the concept pages, because they can be kind of nebulous. They don't necessarily have to do with gaming. They could just be like some weird cliche that exists out in the gaming world, and I think that's pretty cool.
Jeff Gerstmann agrees.
There have been some really inventive pages coming out of the users, like Unreliable Narrator, I think is my current favorite concept page. It could use a little more filling out, someone should just write some stuff for that, but it's a great idea, and the picture that the person submitted for it is amazing. So.
And with all the hard work and effort that's gone into the site, it's no wonder that freakishly handsome developer Sean Koontz has this to say.
Seeing the user feedback. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Like, nothing more than that. It's like, it's amazing working with you guys, but I mean, more than that, it's like just seeing the users react to the site and what they're doing with it and building out Star Control 2 pages and stuff. It's awesome.
And what's Andy McCurdy's favorite page on GiantBomb.com?
The one. So I wrote the Meridian 59 page, which I spent 8 years playing that silly game, and after actually seeing some of the other games filled out as well, it just makes you appreciate all the time and effort that we put into it. So. Yeah, definitely stoked.
Definitely stoked is right. And what's the future of the Giant Bomb video game website?
We're just, for the most part, most of the pages are blank and empty, and now we're asking people to throw stuff in it. So as pages are getting larger and more content's getting there, we're now trying to figure out ways to both make it more fun to use the site and to sort of make it a lot more browsable, so that somebody's writing some weird concept page. You need to be able to find that. It shouldn't just be something that you randomly search to. You should just be able to see it somewhere.
I mean, I've got a big list of things, of stuff that we want to get in there eventually. Some of it's, just making certain things easier. Some of it's kind of just making things a little bit cleaner and fixing some of the minor things here and there. And some of it is definitely like larger, like wide scale functionality. So on top of us going out and covering the video game industry and doing what we do, we're still definitely looking to build upon the framework that we have here and really add to what we're doing.
I mean, we're going to be adding new stuff, like as we've already been talking about adding new stuff. Yeah, but just keep submitting, keep throwing up images, have a good time, really, because we're having a good time with it. So totally enjoy the site.
That's pretty much how you build a bomb.
That's how you really.